Hey, my name is Hayes, and I need you to hear this, even if it stings a little. What if God never ignored you? What if you were the one ignoring him? Yeah, I know, that sounds uncomfortable, because it's easier to say, God, where were you, than to ask, where was I? Think about it. How many times did you say, I'm waiting for a sign? But when the sign came, it wasn't loud enough. It wasn't dramatic enough. It didn't match what you wanted. So you called it silence. You said, God isn't answering me. But what if he did? And you just didn't like the answer. Let me ask you something real. Have you ever felt that small pull inside? That quiet thought that says, don't do this, or call that person, or slow down. That wasn't random. That wasn't your imagination. That was guidance. But we ignore it because it's not convenient. We ignore it because it doesn't fit our plan. And then later, we sit there and ask, God, why didn't you help me? But he tried. You just didn't listen. Let's go a little deeper, because this is where most people check out. Not because it's wrong, but because it's too accurate. We don't ignore God loudly. We ignore him quietly. Not with rebellion, but with distraction. You wake up, you check your phone, you scroll, you fill your mind with noise, and then you say, I don't feel God anymore. But when was the last time you actually gave him space to speak? I'm not talking about a quick prayer while you're doing something else. I'm talking about silence, real silence. No music, no notifications, no running, just you. And whatever starts coming up inside, because that's the part people avoid, not God, themselves. See, when everything gets quiet, things surface, regret, fear, conviction, and we don't like that. So instead of sitting in it, we escape it. We open another app, we start another video, we distract ourselves just enough to not feel anything. And then we say, God is distant. No, you're just busy. Let me be honest with you. God doesn't always shout. Actually, he almost never does. Most of the time, it's a whisper, a nudge, a feeling you can't fully explain. And if your life is loud, you'll miss it. Every time. It's like trying to hear someone talking softly under in the middle of a concert. You'll say, they're not speaking, but they are. You just chose the noise. And here's where it gets even harder. Sometimes God answers you by not giving you what you want. Yeah, you pray for something and nothing happens. Or worse, everything falls apart and you think, see, God ignored me. But what if that no was the answer? What if the closed door was protection? What if the delay was timing? You wanted a sign, but when the answer didn't feel good, you rejected it. So now you're stuck in this loop, asking, ignoring, blaming, repeat. And the whole time you're thinking, God is silent, but he's been speaking the entire time, just not in the way you expected. Let me tell you something real. There was a season in my life when I was convinced God wasn't there. I was doing everything right. I prayed. I tried to stay positive. I told myself, just have faith. But nothing moved. Doors stayed closed. People walked away. Plans collapsed. And slowly, I stopped expecting anything. Not all at once, just little by little. I still said the words, still looked like I believed. But inside, I checked out. Because at some point it started to feel like I was talking to a wall. And here's the part nobody talks about. Life didn't fall apart right away. It just got louder, more distractions, more movement, more doing. And for a while, it actually felt easier. No expectations, no disappointment. But something else disappeared too. Clarity, that quiet sense that you're being guided, that you're not just guessing your way through life. It was gone. And I didn't notice it immediately, because when you stay busy, you don't feel lost. You just keep moving until one moment catches you. For me, it was a decision, nothing dramatic. On the outside, it looked completely fine. But inside, I knew it wasn't right. You know that feeling when something in you goes quiet for a second and says, "Don't do this." No voice, no sign from the sky, just a knowing. And I ignored it. I told myself, it's fine. Everyone does it. I'll fix it later. And yeah, later came. Not all at once, but slowly, quietly, and it cost me. Not just the outcome, but something deeper. Peace. That's when it hit me. God didn't leave. I just stopped listening. Not because I didn't believe, but because I didn't want to hear what I already knew. God was never silent. I just didn't want to hear what he was actually saying. So here's the question. What have you been ignoring? Not what are you waiting for, not what sign you want next. What have you already seen, felt, known, and chose to scroll past? Because most people don't need more answers. They need honesty. Honesty about that Pravichka you know is pulling you down. That relationship that doesn't feel right anymore. That decision you keep delaying, even though inside you already know. We keep asking God for clarity, but ignore conviction. And conviction is clarity. It just doesn't feel comfortable. You want a voice from the sky, something undeniable, something loud. But what if it was never meant to be loud? What if the real test was whether you would listen when it was quiet? Think about that. Because your next step might not come as a miracle. It might come as a small decision, a pause, a no, a change in direction, something simple that you've been avoiding. And if this hit you even a little, don't ignore it again. That feeling you have right now, that's not random, that's the moment. So don't scroll past it this time. If this spoke to you, leave a comment. Just one word. Listen. So I know you felt it too. And if you want more like this, real, honest, no noise, subscribe. Because we're not here to chase motivation, we're here to actually hear it. I'll see you in the next one.